Hello, everyone, and welcome to Extra Connections. I'm your host, James Lott Jr., and here on JLJ Media, my online network. While you're here, make sure you subscribe and follow and comment, of course, when you see these videos. And we're also on every audio streaming platform you can think of, from iHeartRadio to Spotify to Apple, Google, all of them. Just type in JLJ Media and you'll see everything there. So this show is all about connecting you with people, places, things, and ideas. And these are people, not things, but they have great ideas and things that are going on with them. Diesel Jack Media is the company. They celebrated an anniversary, so congratulations, happy anniversary. We'll talk
Thanks so
that.
much.
And I'm talking to the folks who are behind the whole operation, the COO and CEO, and their partners in life, not just in work also. So I want you guys to welcome Nick and Suzanne Palmisciano. Hi, guys.
Thanks so much.
Hi, guys.
Thanks so much for having us. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. I love talking to CEOs and stuff. I love talking to people who run companies because, people get ideas. They go, I want to do this. And we all have those, right? I had the same idea too. It's a lot of work, isn't
it? It is a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Were you both people who were go-getters, like before this was like, you guys like go-getters, like to be in charge kind of people, or were you the opposite of that?
I'll speak for myself first. This is my third business.
Okay.
And now my third 7-figure business. So I've been in the entrepreneur life now for 15 years. Before that, worked at a Fortune 100 company. Before that, I was an infantry officer in the Army. Before that, I was a wrestler. So pretty much since wrestling started, it's been nonstop go.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for your service. But the wrestling part, I was like, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I can see. Wait, what was your wrestling name?
So I wish it was cooler. My mom kind of ruined it. My middle name is Jason because my mom wanted me to have a single non-Italian name, but it was supposed to be Anthony. So my wrestling name in my perfect world would have been Napalm, but instead it was Gumby. I was very flexible once. It's no longer the case, unfortunately. But yeah.
Gumby, I love it. We're all flexible when you were younger. Yes. That does.
Yep.
Well, man, yes. I try with yoga. I'm trying. And Suzanne, how about you? Were you kind of always a go-getter, person who likes to be working hard?
Definitely, yeah. I hate to use the word workaholic because it gives you the impression that there's suits and there's this office and you're just slaving away. But for me, it's more of like the unobtainable almost. It's like you're constantly striving for the next thing, the next thing, and the next thing. And that's kind of always been my motivation since I was a kid, really, whether it's in art or in like fitness, athletics. I do a lot of jiu-jitsu, so things like that. We raised 6 children together. We've got 2 dogs. So it's like a busy house constantly. And then, our own hobbies and then the business as well. It's like, how do you find the time to do it? But, when it's a passion and when you're invested, you find the time.
I want to make clear, though, that I would be willing to get rid of the dogs at any time. Anybody wants the dogs, they can have them.
Oh,
we have
the dogs,
not the dogs.
We have the worst 2 dogs
We don't.
that I've ever seen.
I think he's secretly a cat person.
Oh,
he doesn't want to admit it. Yeah.
Right. No, actually, I had a phenomenal dog for 15 years, Jack Russell Terrier named Diesel. And that's actually why this company is Diesel Jack Media. And now I have 2 other dogs.
These all other. I have 2 other dogs. They what they are. There's 2 other dogs. I love it. Well, okay. First of all, God bless you both. I had 2 daughters, and having girls is very challenging for a man.
It's tough.
It is, but just 2 children. I'd say I'm just 2. You guys have 6.
Yeah.
6.
Yep.
You guys look great. I don't know how you guys don't wait. You guys look great. So okay. When you have my daughter has 3 kids. I'm a grandfather already, so I have no grandkids.
No way.
Congratulations.
Yeah, good for you, man. You look good.
Thank you. It's the hair. Okay. I just became a grandfather for the 4th time a couple days ago, so I'm very excited. A grandson.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Aww.
But my just 6. My daughter has 3. She's like, we're outnumbered now. her and her husband. Like we're out now.
Yeah.
We have 3.
Yep.
We have one when it was 2,
Yep.
like one of each. Because now we're outnumbered. How do you do it? I mean, I know you just do it. You're in it, you do it. But why do you find
It's probably my great parenting. It's probably what it is.
Let me talk to Suzanne then. So girl, how do you do it?
Step out the way.
I know. I was like, hey, you're done. So Suzanne. But anyway, so then how do you do it?
Yeah, it's pretty mental. I'm not normal. I know that for sure. So I always liken it to the old circus trick where somebody's spinning plates on a stick, and you're like, okay, I've got one going. 5. Oh, this one, and then this one. It's like that. It's constant. Yeah, it's constant. But you know, I praise them. They're great kids, and I'm very proud of them. And you know, they do a lot of it themselves. You know, they're forward thinking. They're, you know, responsible kids, and you know, I don't have to do too much.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun. They keep us young for sure.
Yes. Definitely.
You know,
If you're hearing a crazy siren on your end,
That's fine.
our office is in downtown Durham, so someone's probably getting murdered in the background. I mean, it happens. It happens from time to time. You know, you just have to kind of ignore it, and you know, like just keep going on with your day.
My family's from New York City. I learned all about that. So
Yeah. So you know it. You know how it is.
Yeah, just keep it moving.
Yeah, as long as the bullets don't hit the windows, you know, it's
fine. Right. Fine.
Yeah.
Nick, I understand. Actually, I understand that very well. Just you're headed forward. Keep going. But that's great. No, that's great. Actually, I'm sure that concurrently running a business, you know, running an entrepreneur business and being a mompreneur, a parentpreneur at the same time, having kids, it's probably very similar just in terms of tactics and coping and just and delegating. I'm sure it probably works for each other, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just, you know, I joked before, but she just has it on lock. She has a structure around their day, a structure around the work schedule, a structure around everything, so that everything has its place and time. And you know, to the point where like if the kids deviate from their schedule, it actually throws them off. Like she has it on lock. Okay. Yeah, like one of those you know, all those shows with like, you know, the quasi evil English nanny. That's her, you know. Like it's like you're impressed, but you're also like, it's a little evil. That's basically
a little scary. I like her, but it's a little scary at the same time.
Yeah.
Like
let me jump in though. It's not like they have matching socks ever, you know. So like, it does. Not everything is as it seems.
There are limitations, you know.
Yeah.
Well, no, and that's a great lesson for business owners. Some things are not to sweat over. You know what I mean? Like some things, the business is still going to run. It's going to be okay, but
it's going to be Monday again. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you know how when you have like the single kid homes, you know, where the parents waited a while and they had the one kid and the kid gets it, and you walk into their house and everything's perfect.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It smells nice, like everything's like it's organized and there's like a corner for the kid, and you know, our house is not like that. Like you open the door, there's like kids sword fighting, you know, like you know, there's a spilled drink, like it is a little nuts. We're not going to pretend like it's anything other than that.
Yeah,
I've heard that about you guys. I've heard that you guys are very real. I like that because we read these mags. I read all the magazines and things. Well, I might say magazines online. I read the stuff online. And, well, you know, I do this at 4:30 and this at 7, and everything's perfect. And it's like, you know, when you're working, when you're running a business, whether it's 7-figure or a 6-figure, or 3-figure, or 2-figure, you're busy. And when you're a parent, also you're busy. They have things they got to go to, and COVID happened in the middle of all of this.
Yeah.
You have COVID. So I mean, it's a lot of things. So I like the fact that you guys are real about that. That this is great for listeners to see this and watch this. Not everybody, even these, they're not perfect. No one's perfect. It's
we're weird. You know, I help a lot of entrepreneurs now, especially in the veteran space. I work with a few different organizations and try to mentor you know, wannabe entrepreneurs. And I like to talk about failure, like all the things I've screwed up, all the times where I didn't think I was going to make it, all the times where it was scary, because that's the reality. You know, I mean, no matter how good you are, you're going to have that moment when you're like, how the hell did I get into this? Like, you know, how do I get out of this? How do I solve these problems?
Yeah.
And the more you grow, the scarier the problems get. Like at first you're like, oh man, I just want some sales. I just want somebody to try my service. I just want, you know, and then people start buying it. And, you know, if you're selling a product, you know, which was my first business, it's how do I get more inventory? And all of a sudden you're gambling on, well, if I don't buy enough, I'm going to run out. And if I buy too much, then I won't have anything. And then, you know, same thing on the service, I have a different problem. Now I have to hire enough people so that our quality level stays here, but you have to hire before you get there, because it takes a long time to find the right people, to make sure they're a cultural fit, and then to teach them how we do things versus how they've done things before. So we have to hire in advance, which is the opposite of all of my product centric businesses. There, it's like you basically work till you're breaking at the seams, then you hire. But this is the opposite. So there's a different problem for every business, and every time you grow, it's a different challenge. And so I'd rather tell people about that and how hard it is than, you know, feed them a bunch of nonsense about, you know, oh, you just work hard for a few years and then it's easy and you get to sit on a beach. And like, I don't know anybody that lives like that. Like I have not a single person. So yeah.
I know, Nick, you're so correct, because I started this, COVID happened, the studios I was working for shut down. So I put Slack. So I'm gonna start an online network. Sounds cute and all, sure, why not?
Yeah.
So I do it, but you're right. At first it was like, please watch my shows. Please, how do I get to my shows? Well, now they're watching. Now there's look at ratings, looking at views, looking at advertising, looking at all this stuff now that's happening. You're right, as you go more and more.
And I bet you're producing like 3 times the shows you used to produce.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, when you started, it was 1 or 2 a week or something. That's now it's like, man, I did 4 shows today, and I hate everyone I talk to. You know, especially the English woman.
No, but
will you be adding subtitles? That's what I want to know.
No, when she speaks, it's pretty. She can say anything to me, and I'll be go, sure, whatever you say. I'm an Anglophile. I can't help it. I was an EastEnders watcher. I worked with Hugh Laurie on House. I love I love British stuff. So
that's because she likes you. You know, you get the high Londoner accent. I get like the Cockney, like, whoa. Oh yeah, like no vowels, just consonants coming at me. No idea what it is. It's just all angry, you know.
Oh, I love it. I was a French and Saunders person. I love all this stuff. Something huge. All the way back to Monty Python and all that, and Fawlty Towers. And I'm a huge Anglophile. I love my British culture. I do.
Yeah, no, I get it. I used to be.
So funny. So okay, how long have you guys been together?
About a decade.
Oh my God. No, but I mean, all joking aside, you guys seem like a true team. Like, isn't that the key? I mean, like, go back and forth. Yeah. I mean, like, and like again, you both just seem like I'm getting this energy that you guys are a true team.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. And honestly, humor plays a huge part in our relationship and our working relationship, and you know how we muck about at work, and you know, and we're best friends as well. So it's like, who doesn't want to work with their best friend?
That's very sweet. I like that.
I was like, I'm not.
He's like, where's this going?
That was the I was like, I'm not going to make a joke. That was very nice.
It was very sweet. I mean, but it's true, because who you work with, and I say this all the time in Hollywood, who you work with makes a difference. It really does. And you guys are day in, day out trying to figure the business out. You have to at least hopefully you like each other. I mean, at the very most. You have to. Both are running this coming. So talk about Diesel Jack Media. So where this, because you had a couple businesses before and stuff, where did this idea come from?
Yeah, so it's kind of happened over a long period of time. First, you know, my first company, Ranger Up, we started in 2006. It was a patriotic military apparel brand. We were the first, so we kind of created an industry that is now loaded with competition. But what made us popular was silly videos. And we tried to do videos that nobody would expect. So the first video that we had that really hit was a video called the Ranger Up workout video. And because, the guys in the company are, Army Rangers, infantrymen, special forces guys, everybody expected super serious, hardcore stuff all the time. And this was not that. Yeah, I'll just say it is one of the silliest videos that has been made. So ridiculous that there are like warnings and bases still with pictures of me that are like, do not be like, you can't dress like this and come into the cafeteria, and that kind of put us on the map. And then we continued to do that kind of stuff for years. We got successful enough with that we actually made a Hollywood movie. And that Hollywood movie had a who's who of characters. We had William Shatner, Sean Astin, Keith David, Randy Couture. I mean, it was a great cast. Ridiculous film. But that whole thing started when we went to Hollywood and we tried to get funding. We tried to get people to support it. Everybody was like, and they were like, so let me get this straight. You want to make a movie where you guys are the main characters. None of you have ever acted. None of you have made a movie, and we're going to just trust this. And I'm like, well, yeah. So everybody laughed at us. And so we decided to, crowdsource it. And again, people are like, we went to a director, Ross Patterson, who ended up directing it and said, hey, if we raise, I don't know, 350, 500 K, can we do this movie? And he's like, yeah, but how are you going to get the money? We're like, oh, we're going to crowdfund it. He's like, okay, you're not going to get the money, but if you do, I'll get it. So we ended up raising 1.4 million. Yeah. So then I became a Hollywood producer. And we made this movie, and we ended up putting it in 650 theaters nationwide. It's the first ever independent film to hit #1 on Amazon. So while I will tell you, it is not a Oscar-worthy film, it was an Oscar-worthy effort. It took a lot to make that movie happen. And it's a cult classic now. It still does really well. We're coming up on the 5-year anniversary. So with that, I met a bunch of people in Hollywood, at least 10% of which I liked.
I was going to ask you. It's tough out here.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I have so much respect for crew now. Like I was like, man, like the crew is incredible. Like these people are true geniuses. I like 7% of the actors, and I like almost none of the producers. That's basically where I'm at.
That's normal. Okay, that's about normal.
And but one of the guys I met was this guy, Kevin Hurd. He goes by Hollywood Hurd. And Hollywood was his call sign when he was in the Air Force.
Okay.
And he helped us. He's been in Hollywood for, 107 years. He was there when, after he flew missions against the Red Baron, he went to Hollywood. He started with silent films, and then he figured out talkies. But,
exactly right. Yes.
But he's been a mentor, and he ended up, helping us a lot with what we needed to do to start this company. Okay. And so anyway, so here we are. We're on the eve of the pandemic. I've done, a venture event a couple of years ago with Ranger Up. And so I went from running a warehouse and shipping orders to now, really being, more of a marketing effort for Ranger Up. And, we just kind of decided that it was time to do something new. We had done the business for a while. Being in a military business for, almost 15 years, but having only been in uniform for 10 years prior to that, I started to feel like I was the guy coming back to the high school reunion, still wearing a Letterman jacket. It was just like, it's time to do the next thing. And we had so much experience in marketing and what worked, what didn't work from a very competitive industry like apparel, that we basically put together this business plan of, hey, we're going to make high-end videos at a value. And we're going to combine that with all of the tricks and tools that we use to turn Ranger up into the successful business it was. And, we feel like there's a market with that. So we launched that. Officially, the business stood up February 17th, but we went, public, so to speak, 1 March, which was just impeccable timing. There was this little thing called COVID that hit literally. So I was like, well, we started this thing and it's just gonna die, but we've basically been able to, most businesses, we double or triple their business within the first 3 months. It's been a huge success. We've been able to, take, anybody from small businesses all the way to, pretty significant companies and make a tremendous impact right out of the gate. And, one of my passions is helping entrepreneurs. And so getting to watch people, there's one guy I've got permission to mention him, but there's a company called thighhuggers.com. And Thigh Huggers, this guy is a trip. He is a trip. His name is Lance Liggett. He's a veteran. He's a firefighter. And he basically sells shorty shorts for men. Also for women. I know, right?
Hey, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So when he came to us, his best month was about 10 to 18 grand, depending on the month. That's kind of where he floated. He is going to break $1 million easily this year. So this month will be his first 6-figure month. And this he's a workaholic. He is a tremendous person. And we've been able to give him the roadmap to go from this being a hobby to, he's going to be hiring a significant number of people and turning this into a, tremendous business. And I think this guy is going to end up being a well-known entrepreneur because of his passion and drive. And so we look at it like, yeah, he's a client, but, I was able to mentor a young entrepreneur. Suze and the team, have been able to, create a structure for him that he didn't have before to be successful. And now, we're basically lining up targets for him and he's knocking them down. It's like, I think it's weird when marketing agencies say that, they built a business or they grew a business. Like, that's not your job. Your job is certainly to make the content, run the ads and do all that. But your job is to set up the entrepreneur for success. Let them chase their dream in their way. Otherwise, everything that you do ends up looking the same. You start running a playbook.
So right now I'm looking at his website.
It's crazy, right?
But what's funny is so I'm looking at it. They're cute. Actually, they really have great designs. The unicorn is cute. The Quad Phillip. But they are shaped a little differently than regular shorts, aren't they? I'm looking at them. I'm not seeing that wrong. They're shaped.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting here going, I don't know if I could wear any of those, but I'm like.
So there's a saying, in the Army, if you're, Rangers wear what we call Ranger panties, and in the Marines, they call them silkies. The Marine version is green, the Ranger version is black. And the saying in the military goes, the shorter the short, the greater the man. And so the premise of Thigh Huggers is essentially providing that same exact cut to the general population.
Yes, I'm looking at them. Okay, they're very interesting. Okay,
I'm telling you what, try a pair, see what you think. It'll change your life.
Okay, and here's the deal. If I get it, they're not bad priced at all either, folks. If I try a pair, would you guys get me in touch and have them on my show?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's a trip, man. He is a trip.
Yeah. I know. Now I want to talk to him. Now I really want to talk to him. I want to get one of his. I want to get one and see how it feels. I'm like, There's some cute designs, but they are shaped very in a way I've never.
I feel like you're a tiger man. You know.
Let me look. Let me see. Which one's that?
That's the tiger pattern.
I
The
see
tiger
it, and I
stripe.
do. I see it. I could wear those. I could rock those probably. I'm sure I
Yeah.
could. I'm like, that's very interesting. I like that. Anyway, so yeah, that's a side note. But yes, no, everything you're saying, I see it. It's very correct. I know it's really correct, and you're there to support because for folks out there, they're a boutique digital marketing firm, so they're here to help the company be its best, showcase its best, look its best to the outside world, right? But see, with COVID,
Yep.
at least you're lucky because it's online stuff. So I feel like that's why you're successful, right? Meaning online.
So it's interesting because we have clients that do everything from, we've had clients that sell diabetic socks. We've had clients that are HVAC, that are high-end consulting firms that are law firms. So our criteria is not necessarily what you'd think it would be. We don't try to do the same thing over and over again. We look for companies that are willing to take a risk, and that doesn't have to be a crazy risk. But if you want to hire somebody to do exactly what everybody else is doing, we are not your guys. So you've got to be willing to take some risk, but also we only work with people that we think have a good product. So if you come to us with something that we think is snake oil or shady, or we don't want to be involved in that. And then we only work with people we like, because life is too short, and we are workaholics. The whole organization works tremendously hard. We take ownership of our clients. And so it's not just that we don't want to work with people we don't like. It's that when it's 2 a.m. and we're all here late because the client has a deadline and it was a last minute thing, but if we get it done, they get to be on a TV show and it changes their business. It's hard to motivate everyone to do that if that person's a jerk all the time.
You're right.
So we only want to work with people where we're willing to suffer for their success. And so we just look at everything through those three lenses. If we have a call and we're like, this is going to be miserable, we just say no. So I don't know if that's normal or not, but that's our outlook.
I like that. I'm similar in some ways. The people I have underneath me in terms of like my actors or other co-hosts or producers, is give me a call, let's work it out. If it's a rush, we call them rush calls. With a rush call, let's work it out. You have to be part of the team. It's a team. You got to be part of the team. And so for both of you, I'm going to ask Suzanne. So you are a COO. So are your offices near each other? Are they separate on purpose or anything?
Yeah, we can't knock on each other's walls.
I just wonder for your, because when you work together, because working together, I'm sure you have your job, right? It's well defined, Susanna.
Yeah, and when you think that we're in the pandemic right now, a lot of us have been working remotely, and due to the nature of our business, we can actually do that successfully. Everything's kind of digital now, unless people are filming things. And obviously, I'm virtual learning with 5 at home right now. So we are well apart. But we've been in office spaces, for years together, and I don't know, it's probably unusual. I don't know how we actually do it, but we do kind of separate ourselves. So it's like at home we're like couple, at work we're at work. We just have goals to achieve, and we just work through that as.
Yeah. The day.
Go ahead.
Our days are crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, they're crazy. I have days where I come in, I make a cup of coffee, I sit down, and I'm not off the phone, from 8 or 9 a.m. I'm not off the phone until 6.
Right.
And sometimes it's new business, sometimes it's client calls, sometimes it's planning for, we just did this crazy shoot that we're really looking forward to launching for a new brand. It's a really cool story. The company's called RIPPAK, RIPPAK, and it's a Marine that came up with the idea for this product when he was 9. 9 years old, and has tried to get it funded for the last 6 years. Finally got it funded, and hired us to bring it to market. And it's a tooth powder that doesn't need water, that is the equivalent of brushing your teeth for up to 2 weeks. You can use nothing but Rip-Pak twice a day for 2 weeks. And it comes in like these tiny little sticks. And it's really wild. Like, they've had it tested, scientifically tested. And he started with the concept of like, when you're traveling, and you forget your toothbrush, or, you just had lunch, and you had a bunch of garlic and you've got a big meeting coming up, or you're about to go on a date right after work, or you're a police officer or a firefighter and you've been stuck in a vehicle all day, or you're in the military, or you're camping and you don't want to waste the water you have. And it's a really cool product. Like, it's really wild. So anyway, we had this shoot where we hired an entire Revolutionary War reenactment group. And we made this commercial where like the whole premise is, if George Washington had Rip-Pak, he'd still have teeth. And so like George Washington's, but I mean, we've got like cannons going off, and, like these guys are, I mean, they're hardcore, that like everything is perfect, and the right rifle. And at one point we had a guy holding a rifle, and this guy ran over, stopped the whole shoot, and was like, actually, that rifle would have only been used by the British, so you need to use this rifle instead. I'm like, oh, thank God. Hey,
yes.
Exactly. But like when we get to do stuff like that, like it's such a wild experience. And that, I mean, if you think about how many moving pieces, we had 6 cameras rolling, all kinds of actors. The planning for that is significant.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
So she's planning behind the scenes for a lot of, like connecting all the dots, making sure that we can execute. And I'm planning, with the actors on the script, on the creative, like trying to, and then we have to put it all together. And these are big productions, so.
I don't, I mean, on a side note, I come from military families, as much as I love my Anglo people too. I just feel for military. I just do. I feel like in this country, especially, we need to hold every person who has served in high regard. I mean, seriously, including you. I really feel strongly about that. They're underserved, and I feel like I'm so glad that you are helping them with their business, ideas, because it's just, they served our country. You guys served our country. You did the highest honor you could do for us. They should be treated as such. I'm just
I appreciate that. Me personally, like, I strongly feel I got more from the military than I gave to the military. So like, there's no need to thank me. I feel very lucky to have served. But I do get upset when, there are a lot of people that have served a lot more than I have, that are not prepared for the next step, especially if it happened because of something out of their control, like an injury, like an IED or a traumatic brain injury. I feel like we spend a lot of money, and we can always find money to go to war, but we can never find money to solve the problems associated with war. And I have a real issue with that. So like, those are the guys that like, hey, if you've been injured, the country should be bending over backwards to help you. If you're a guy like me, you don't owe me anything. Like, I served, I'm fine. I learned a lot from it. Like, it was my pleasure. But if you're somebody that lost a limb, had a traumatic brain injury, has post-traumatic stress, and the country is putting you through the grinder and not finding money, like I have friends that have prosthetics that broke, and they're like, oh yeah, we could solve that in 2 months. 2 months. Like, so the guy's in a wheelchair for 2 months.
Right.
Sorry, I'm off track.
No, I'm with you on that, Nick, completely. I give to organizations to try to help wounded warriors, and I'm a huge thing about that. I just think
thank you for doing that. Appreciate it.
It's just it's a travesty. I just think it is. And I know we're going a little time, but I just think it's a travesty. But you mentioned earlier how you're helping others who are military have their dreams, get their dreams going, and get it going, getting prepared. And anybody starting a business, all of us, anybody who's watching us out there, it is not easy, but it can be so rewarding. It's the American dream. We're living it. The three of us are living it. We're living it. We're living the American dream. I mean, to start a business, free enterprise, and you get to change who you want to be. I mean, like you said, you want to do something different, so you're able to do that. You're able to go out and do something different, and now you have a successful. And I knew with COVID, even though things outwardly were kind of falling apart, there was still business happening. And I can talk to you guys forever, of course, and just another time. But I want to ask you, as we're starting to come out of it a little bit, I'm getting my first shot on Friday, and my friends, we're getting there. Very excited. We're getting there. So we're getting there. And in LA, we're starting to open up a little bit more and stuff everywhere. But I want to find out for you, do you think for you guys, you'll be even busier, you think, once we start getting, I feel you guys are going to be, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. One of the big things, a lot of people have been hesitant to do video for obvious reasons. And we've taken every precaution. We actually went and have a contract with a health company where they do every time we do an event, we have COVID tests.
Good.
And we've been very fortunate that no one here has gotten it. No one here has had any issues. But understandably, a lot of people aren't super excited to be filmed or to have a big production with all of this going around. But I will tell you that this is already our busiest month. And, with a 25% reduction in COVID over the last, 60 days, I think, I've seen America open up probably more than we even should, but I mean, I think that as most Americans get the vaccine by May, I think it's going to be like a massive rejuvenation of business,
I think so too. That's why I said you guys are going to be busy. I mean, because I know for us, we're getting busier too. All of a sudden, Hollywood's starting to get a little busy. Like people are starving for content. They're going to be starving for it. I mean, we're going to need you guys.
Yeah,
this is going to need you guys. I mean, seriously. I mean, it's going to be really. I think it's going to be a great boon. I think it's going to happen.
We went from having, a few shoots every month to, I think, every week of April we're shooting at least 3 different productions. I mean, it's picking up. Yeah, we've doubled our team in the last 2 months.
Very good.
So yeah, it's getting nuts.
Well, I am a new fan of both of you and the company.
Same here.
I will support your company as much as I can online. I post things, whatever. You guys are welcome to come back on anytime, of course. You guys have busy schedules, but I like you both. I really do. I mean, you guys are great. So thank you for your time.
Appreciate that.
Thank you for yours.
It is Diesel Jack Media. And so you guys, can you tell me, are you guys online anywhere? So can you tell them where you can find you?
Yeah, www.dieseljackmedia.com.
I think you added an extra W.
www.
The wonderful World Wide Web.
We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and I personally am on Twitter, but Twitter is a garbage site. It's all for insults and meanness, but I enjoy it.
I will be following you. I'll make sure to follow you guys today. So you'll see my name popping up in some places. It'll be me. Popping up.
Awesome. We'll follow you back.
Thank you. You guys, Diesel Jack Media, Nick and Suzanne, thank you so much. Go ahead and follow them. Go to dieseljackmedia.com, see what's going on there. And if you want to hire them, go talk to them. Talk to them. That's what we're here for. Support them. And I am James Lott Jr. You can find where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms, including TikTok. I'm a star on TikTok, apparently. So I give tips on how to get organized and all kinds of stuff on there. So follow me there at James Lott Jr. and see what I'm talking about. And everybody, please stay safe and stay as you can. And if you have a dream, go follow it. Don't be afraid. Go out there and do it. The lessons will come as you're working towards it. So thank you.